Welcome back to Talking Lead. This is episode 111, and we're back, and we've got a special guest with us this week. His name's Rob Pincus, Combat Focused Shooting, ICE Training, Personal Defense Network. How's it going, Rob?
Great. I didn't know you were going to be here.
Guys, hello?
The left hand's here. He's here too.
Oh, I lost you guys there for a minute. I was getting ready to start the show.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Are y'all ready?
Sure, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And welcome back, Leadheads. This is episode 111. Okay, it was staged. You guys were having a deja vu there for a minute. That's right, Leadheads. You heard it right. That is the Squatch in the house, and he's going to be joining us for this show. I guarantee you he'll be back for more. Zeke Stout, are you using your last name nowadays?
Yeah, it's out there now.
Okay, Zeke Stout, he's with SDI now, the Sonoran Desert Institute, and that is a distance learning school, and our listeners have heard us talk about it. They've seen our videos, and we'll get into a little bit more about SDI and what Zeke's been up to. And you heard the great Rob Pincus is joining us as well. Rob, you're on the road. You're always a road warrior.
Well, yeah, just ending the literally about 2 hours left before I get back to the Western HQ on the 2015 Personal Defense Network training tour. Just finished up the last class about 30 hours ago, and been driving back down from the Pacific Northwest.
Man, have you had any sleep?
Yeah, actually, I got a little sleep in Montana, and I'm in Wyoming now, about to hit the Colorado border.
Oh, you're hitting all the beautiful states on the way
it's
home.
great up here.
Now, how does he get the great Rob Pincus, and I'm just that guy from SDI? What the hell?
You're building that reputation.
Oh, okay.
You're the soon-to-be great, but always great with the Talking Leadheads.
I mean, we just found out your last name, to be fair, Zeke.
You got a good point. You have a good point. But see, I've taken that next step. You know, I've gone beyond just Zeke, and now I'm Zeke Stout. So, hey,
Right.
I'm
just trying to be distinguished from all the other Rob Pincuses.
Yeah,
there's a ton, man.
Because if you Google that, there's so many. Yeah.
That's my urologist's name, but hey.
Are you serious?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not at all.
That'd be awkward.
Or awesome. One or the other.
Depends on how you look at it.
Or how he looks at it.
I'm not looking at it.
You liking the angle of... All right, so let's talk about what's been going on this week in guns. Zeke, you want to start us off? What have you been doing?
I have been working with a lot of manufacturers right now. We're trying to get content from everybody, and the biggest obstacle is something we're going to talk about in Facts to Fight to Miss. It's something where we have a responsibility to our students and all the employees that come on board with SDI. We have to sign a mission statement, and the very first thing is the students come first. Well, part of that responsibility is making sure they have the right content to learn about all the firearms. We just landed a partnership with Henry and got all their content together. We're about to put out their supplemental guide to the curriculum, which is really cool. That's been fun. Yeah. Henry is an awesome company to work with.
Henry Rifles?
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. No, Henry Smith lives down the road in Knoxville.
Well, I didn't know if it was Henry Jones over here.
No, the guy in Knoxville. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, so
congratulations with that.
Yeah, thank you. Working on HK and 6 Hour right now. The bigger ones are tougher nuts to crack because they make a lot of money off the armorers courses. So we're trying to make sure they know, hey, look, we're not coming in as competition. We just need to make sure the students, when they're in their jobs as a gunsmith or whatever aspect of the firearms industry they go to, that they have the right curriculum on their firearms, because there's a chance they'll see them in the workplace. So.
Right. Well, you've been very busy then. I know since you've joined up with SDI, you've really put them on the map and turned them around and shaped up that gunsmithing course that they've got. Not only that, but you're involved with some their other educational curriculum as well, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. One of the things we're going to be doing actually involves your guest tonight. We're going to be putting together some curriculum based on training. And I can't go too in-depth because some of the Department of Education rules says we can't really talk about future stuff, but that's a little hint that we can talk about. We're going to be really diving harder into the business and marketing side of the firearms industry. That's something that I've been hitting hard this month, and hopefully we'll have a better beefed up course on that side by September. So,
and that's something that our listeners may not be aware of, is that Rob is also affiliated with SDI now.
He is on our advisory board.
He is an advisor as well. Holy cow, Rob! How many titles and hats do you wear?
I don't know. I know when I was really honored for that one to come along, because it what SDI has done in the past course and what they're doing, and now with Zeke really spearhead engine of the material and the quality and the depth of the material, it gels perfectly with what we do at Personal Defense.
You're breaking up.
Information.
You're breaking up. Hold on. Let's get you in a better cell.
I got 4G, five little marks. How's that?
Okay. Could you hear him good? He was breaking up in my ear.
No, he was breaking up in mine.
Okay.
All right.
Try
again.
Go.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of lost track. And then there's a few that are more active than others. But when the invitation to join the advisory team there with SDI came along, it was really an honor. What they do, what they have done for a long time, is spearheading both not only in the amount of material, but in the depth and the quality of the material. Jason over there, Frank's been working hard with them. There's a bunch of really good people involved about it. Gels perfectly with what we're trying to do at Personal Defense Network, and the expansion of IC Training Company, trying to reach as many people as possible. And just a great outfit, and I'm glad to be involved with.
Now, you'd mentioned that you're just now coming off the end of your PDN tour. So tell us a little bit about how you wrapped that tour up.
Yeah, so the tour, of course, it always starts in St. Augustine, Florida in March. And last year we did a trip all the way up to Alaska. That was really more of just a one-time adventure. We usually end in the Pacific Northwest in Washington or Seattle. And the last couple of years, the last class has been at Mike Hughes' range. Of course, Next Level Training, the CERT pistol, everybody knows Mike Hughes. He's a good friend, and it's a great place to end up there with him and Britt, his team, and, of course, other students that come up to the class. So we ended with a combat-focused shooting class on Monday. Had a meeting with some of the military guys that we're consulting with on some curriculum development yesterday in Washington, and just kind of pulling that 22-hour drive back to the Western HQ in Colorado right now. The last classes were Idaho, Oregon, and Washington. And, of course, I took about a 3-week hiatus, spend some time with my new daughter in Denver, and my wife, obviously, the whole family there. So I'm headed back, and Shooting Industry Masters is coming up this weekend. So I'm not going to be back very long, but I am going to bring the wife and new baby Pincus. It'll be her first shooting industry event, Shooting Industry Masters this weekend.
Yeah, and that may be something that our lead heads aren't aware of, is that you're a new father again.
I am. Yeah, actually, Zeke was there in Nashville. Obviously, my daughter got married, my older daughter, Christina, in May, and that empty nest thing just didn't really stick. And got a new daughter that's 1 month old this week.
You spin it. You spin it however you need to there. No, seriously, congratulations on the new daughter. And she's beautiful, actually, man. I've seen the pictures. She's beautiful.
I appreciate it. No, she's just awesome. Tie it all back together. SDI, the team at SDI actually put together an amazing 22 long rifle AR that is Cynthia Louise's first gun. So she got her first gun about 2 weeks old, thanks to the team at Sonoran Desert Institute. So that was pretty cool.
That's awesome. Did you post that on social media?
Yes, of course. It's all.
He posts the time he wakes up at social media.
I know. I don't know why I asked that.
He posts how many breaths he took on social media.
I'm on my 3rd sip of coffee this morning, and
well, if I don't, people are going to ask.
You got a good point. They're going to think something happened.
Right.
That's the whole purpose of social media, right? Speaking of social media, Leadheads, you guys have been seeing the posts that I've been making this week, and I've been with a group here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, that have been standing guard, if you will, with our military recruiting offices here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And I know that this is going on all over our nation right now. And the guys that are here were put together by a gentleman named Tim Guy of Guy Personal Defense. And Rob, I don't know if you remember him or not, but he says he knows you. Tim Guy.
Tim, yeah, I'm sure that we've crossed paths. I can't exactly place where or when, but it absolutely is a familiar name.
Yeah. Seems like you were a pretty big influence on him. I think he may have gone through one of your courses.
Sounds like that's exactly what it was. And it's interesting. There are some people that are doing that really well, and I'm sure you guys are amongst that side. And there's some people that have not put the firearm industry best foot forward in terms of their patrolling decisions, I believe.
Exactly, and that's something that I wanted to bring up, is that Tim being owning a training company himself and being very well aware of firearm safety and rules and laws, was very diligent in putting this together. And people that come out there, he has a talk with them, and he vets them before they actually can carry their firearms or be a part of that. If more people would do that throughout the nation, like you're saying, we're seeing all kinds of news articles and social posts that are really putting us in a bad light. So if you guys are going to do that, do it responsibly. If you haven't had firearms training, don't go out there and take part. How do you plan on defending somebody else if you don't know how to defend yourself? The sentiments are appreciated, but there are other ways that you can help out. You can make donations to the families of the slain military members, make donations to your local military recruiter's office there, help them out. But just stay out of the trained professionals' way and let them help out.
Take water to the guys that are out there in the heat.
Yeah, a lot of water.
One of the things I was suggesting to a couple guys earlier this week is, best of intentions, I get it, but take the money that you would have made going to work that day and start a fund with some local people that are patriots that want to support and help the military out. Hire a private security company. There are private security companies in every town that has a recruiting station, I'm sure. Hire a private security company, armed, unarmed, whatever it may be, to take that post as a professional licensed in that state. And like as you said, I think that might be a better choice for a lot of the people that are interested in helping out.
Absolutely. That's a great point. I'm glad you said that. And as we were talking through that, I think Zeke's got a new toy that he wants to talk about. Have you got a Tavor? You got a Tavor there, Zeke?
I have a Tavor.
Okay.
This was a Father's Day present to myself. But yeah, I almost came out there and I was like, there's plenty of guys out there right now. So, and plus I was busy as hell. So
yeah. Well, I did an interview with Tim, the guy who's heading up the movement here in Murfreesboro for our guarding of our recruiting centers. Let's talk with Tim now, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about Zeke's Father's Day present.
Hey, lead heads, this is Left Hand with Talking Lead, and I am in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, just outside the military recruiting centers here. Obviously, everybody's aware of what's been going on, the shootings that happened in Chattanooga and the 5 military lives that were lost. Unfortunate that we have to have an assembly like this, but it's great that the community, the local government officials have come together. And I'm with Tim Guy, who has organized the Operation Warrior Guard here at the Murfreesboro Military Recruiting Center, which is a group of civilians and retired military law enforcement that have come together to stand guard until the government changes its policies on these gun-free zones involving our military. Tim, welcome in.
Hi, how you doing tonight?
Doing great, buddy.
All right.
Hey, first off, I appreciate everything that you're doing here and all the groups across the nation that have come together and supported our military with their donations, their time, their experience, and their love of the country and our Constitution.
Well, thank you so much. Appreciate that.
So Operation Warrior Guard, how did this get started? Obviously, we know the root cause. It's that jack wagon that killed our 5 military guys there in Chattanooga. How did you organize this group, Tim?
I was sitting around last Saturday and saw what was going on, and then I thought, you know what? I know a lot of people that got carry permits, and I put on Facebook that I think we needed to get together and go out there and just stand out there and protect these men and women, and posted it, asked for volunteers, and just got overwhelmed with them, tons of them.
Yeah, and I've been out there every day, and I've noticed that the support has grown larger and larger. So it's grown so large that you guys are doing shifts now. I know you had a calendar, and everybody's taking days and times, and just the community support has been overwhelming as well, with the donations of food and drink, and not only to you guys, but to some of the local organizations that could benefit from that as well. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we got out there, and people came on Facebook and said, "Hey, what do y'all need?" And they started showing up with water and ice and Gatorades, and next thing you know, we've got local restaurants that were bringing food all day long, and it's just been great. And the community came together, and we get them on Facebook. We don't have to, they just bring everything, and we just keep filling them up. We keep putting the coolers out, and it's just amazing how they did that. And they're over there taking food to the recruiters, and the honking there, they're just great.
Yeah, and I know you and I were talking one day, and we noticed how much donations were coming in. I mean, it was more than the volunteers, could use. Or so we were talking about, how else could we use this to benefit not only our military but the community. And you came up with donating it to the Salvation Army, to the local VA, the vets that are in need in our local area as well. Is that right?
That's right. Yep. First, I think it was the second day, the van showed up from the Salvation Army and loaded them up. We've got a group out in Smyrna that is getting donations. It's just great that we're trying to help one group, keep an eye on them, and in turn, what we didn't see coming was these other groups that's benefiting because of the public just giving so much, that we're just trying to help them all. Now it's just going all over the city.
It is. It's going like wildfire, and the support is overwhelming from our community. I don't think it's anything that we weren't expecting, but as far as the support, but the amount of support that's coming in is just, it's unbelievable. I mean, we can't really describe, because there's people coming by constantly every hour, every minute of the day with some sort of donations or handshake or, good gesture. I haven't really seen any negative from our community on this in Rutherford County anyway.
No, I haven't either. And we actually, Operation Warrior Guard, we spread out. We ended up going to some other cities around Nashville. We got calls saying, "Hey, what about sending some people over here?" And we sent them there. And like you said, we made our drop-off point there where we're at now, and the people just keep pulling up, jumping out. Here you go. Thank you so much. Giving the items, and the same thing, the people that have been retired from the military, the older people, coming up and shaking our hands and thumbs up. Families bringing their kids by. Say, I just wanted my children to see a part of what happens when citizens decide we're going to do something. And it's just amazing. Tennessee's a volunteer state. And you got all these volunteers who just showed up.
Right on, brother. That's right. And we're showing how we earned that nickname, right?
That's exactly right.
Heck yeah. I know that when it first started, everybody was real gung-ho, and it was kind of like, okay, how are we going to organize this in a way that's not disruptive, that's not, and I use the quote, scary, to the general public. Everybody showed up with their ARs, their AKs the first couple of days. Everybody had a permit. Everybody was responsible. Second Amendment follower, safety rules. Now let's talk about your background, because that comes into play with the type of people that you're allowing to, and obviously anybody can come out here that wants to and support, but they need to do it in a responsible, safe manner.
Yes, yes, they do.
And with your background, you're kind of vetting the people and organize them in a way that, okay, you've got this type background and training, then you're good for this. And you're kind of delegating the responsibilities. Is that right?
Yes, we are. We're grouping men and women up. Probably 90% of what we have out there right now, maybe a little higher than that, is all military, law enforcement, or combination of both. Same thing with my background. I was in the military, served in the Army. I was also a deputy sheriff here in Nashville. Worked in a prison as a correctional officer, and right now I'm also doing armed security. And I take what I know, and I got in there and I started putting people in certain places, mixed it up a little bit, spread them out, so you don't have everybody standing in one corner. The ARs were a little scary, and so we decided, you know what, let's put those away. We've got our sidearms. There's enough firepower out there. If something was to happen, we've got it covered. We wanted the public to look at us in a positive way and not look at a bunch of guys running around itching to shoot somebody. We don't want to shoot nobody. We don't want our people to get shot. That's it. We're going to protect them.
Just like the message that the Japanese got back in World War II, and the reason that they didn't continue their push and invade America past Hawaii was that behind every blade of grass, there's an American with a rifle.
That's right. That's exactly what they said, and they knew it.
So we're just trying to, you guys are just, we're just trying to remind people that still holds true. That's very true. And, we're not afraid to come together and unite when people are trying to terrorize our country.
That's right. And
our military.
And our issue was with, the government, the federal, took away these military's right to have a firearm. We give them fully automatic, send them across the seas and says, lay your life down on the line for us. But when you come back, you're on your own, and that's just. And
I'm glad you said that, because we kind of missed that point in the beginning. So the whole point of this is that the government they don't allow our military to be armed at homeland bases. Is that correct?
That's right. They took that away from them. That's where you don't see the arms on the bases anymore in the recruiting offices. At one time they could do that, and they're not, and they need to give that right back to them. If we entrusted them to do what they do for us, and they're still over there now, and men and women are, and we trust them to do a good job and do what we ask them to do. We come back over here, they should be able to say, you know what, I need to feel safe on my own soil. And Chattanooga showed that they couldn't be.
Yeah. Well, it's obvious that they brought the war to our soil, and where there's war, they need to be armed, not only to protect themselves but to protect the citizens as well.
That's right.
Now, at this point, I think there's probably within reason that they need to be armed, but that's being figured out right now. I know that several states have gone ahead and permitted the National Guard to be armed full. I guess when they're on full duty, service members in the National Guard to be armed, and those states at this point in time are Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas, California, believe it or not.
Wow.
Florida, Indiana, Louisiana, Mississippi, North Carolina, Ohio, Oklahoma, Texas, and Wisconsin, which, most of those states other than California, you would expect all those to follow suit, but you'd also expect to see another one that's not there, and that's Tennessee.
You would think so, yeah.
I don't understand what the holdup is for Tennessee.
I don't either. I know our Governor Haslam is implementing it now that the National Guard, which he can control that, is going to make it so that these gentlemen, these men and women, get their handgun carry permits. I saw the news article about it and said that these military people are going to advance before the civilians in order to get their carry permits. They can waive everything; they can just give it to them, and then he can.
As long as they've got the proper certificates. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. As long as they got the proper certificates, let them carry permit. Then he can order them; they can carry their guns. Okay. Something they got to do. Something.
But at the same time, even though they've got their carry permit in these gun-free zones, they're not allowed to carry them, so it's irrelevant. I don't see the purpose in pushing them through the permit process if they're still not allowed to carry them. So the issue is, on these recruiting offices, military bases, they're still not going to be allowed to carry. Now, these other states have initiated the National Guard to go ahead and carry. So I'm still perplexed as to why Haslam, the Tennessee's still dragging their feet, especially when this happened in our state.
Yeah, and is he going to take away the gun-free zones in these places that he has a right to do? We know he can't control.
He can't. Well, I don't know about the Army, Navy. Can he lift those facilities?
No, he can't do that because that's federal.
That's federal, right?
He can do the National Guard. That's state, and he can do away with the gun-free zones, and he can order that they carry their sidearms.
And I'm all for not knee-jerk, not giving knee-jerk reactions. And actually studying the situation and not going overboard with it, but at the same time, I think it's pretty cut and dry what needs to be done, and obviously these other states have seen that and they've gone ahead and implemented it. Mm-hmm. When you get the majority of the states that start doing this, then the federal government's soon going to follow.
You would think, I think it's what we're hoping for. I think with the way this started out on Monday, and then on Tuesday from our local news reporter said, hey, this thing went nationwide. They're in other states doing the same thing we're doing in Murfreesboro. Yeah. And this attention has got to be getting up to Washington where they sit there, look at these civilians doing. This is making them look bad. And they know, well, if the governors in these other states start saying, all right, we're going to do this for our military, it's going to force the hand for the federal to speak up and say, well, we're not going to do it, or here, we're going to do what needs to be done. I think that'll force them. Yeah.
Well, I just got to say I appreciate what you have done, taking it upon yourself to organize this and get it going. It's obviously something that needed to be done. There's strength in numbers, and the numbers here are growing every day. Yep. And we're going into, was it day 4?
Day 4.
Getting ready to go into day 4.
Yep.
By the time people hear this, hopefully this will be resolved, and day 4 is it. That's all we'll have to do. But our resolve is to continue this until there's been some sort of satisfactory satisfactory solution to the gun-free military areas, such as our Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, recruiting offices, strip centers, which is typically where they have these offices set up. Yeah. And some other governmental facilities.
That's what we're hoping for. We're hoping that they're going to look at their policy and say, hey, it didn't work, it cost lives, and it was unnecessary, and let's fix it. And then us, the civilians, standing back and go, okay, you guys got it.
Because we all know that gun-free zones do not work.
Nope.
It's an open invitation for someone wanting to do harm to a lot of people to come in and do it. They know they're not going to get any kind of resistance.
Yep.
From anyone. And by the time that someone does finally show up to intervene, they've accomplished their mission. They've killed 10, 20, 100 people, and then themselves, which is, typically how they follow suit. Right. Is, they'll commit suicide as soon as they're confronted with some resistance.
Well, yeah.
Because they're cowards.
That's I've been dealing with these criminals for a long time, and they're opportunists. They take the path of least resistance. They don't go after people that's greater than them unless they bring in lots of help and firepower. And they look after soft targets, weak links, and that's what they go for. And when they meet the resistance, and all of a sudden they show up like what we're doing, and look at all these guns here. Well, I better not go start shooting this place up because they're not going to make it, and they're not going to accomplish their goal. And they know that we're there.
They know that they've got X amount of time, typically, before they're going to get met with any sort of resistance.
Yep. And if the resistance is there right then they go, well, I'm not going to be able to pull this off. I got to go find somebody else to shoot.
Yeah, they either, give up, stop, or they'll just shoot themselves right there.
That's it. And that best thing you can do is they can shoot themselves. And
problem solved.
That's it.
Right. Well, Tim, I appreciate your time today, and again, thank you for organizing this, and not only organize it, but the true definition of organize it. You have organized this in a very civil, a very planned out, methodical way that it's not intrusive to the surrounding local businesses, or there's not been any disruptiveness by the group. Everybody's very respectful. But at the same time, they're holding tight and sticking to their, quote, guns.
Yeah, just keep that momentum going, and they keep going. Our people keep showing up. We keep hanging out, and that's what we're looking for. We get a good, positive outlook from the community. They see us in a positive way, not a negative way.
And if people want to get involved with this, how can they reach out to you on Facebook?
They could reach out to us on Facebook. They could go to Operation Warrior Guard and go on there, or they could look for me personally.
Okay, so just Tim Guy on Facebook, or the best place to go is Operation Warrior Guard.
Yep.
And that'll pop up on Facebook there. It's not a private group, right?
So it's a public group.
Public group. Okay, very good. Oh, and I also wanted, to give proper credit where credit is due. We had a state senator come by today.
We had Senator Jim Tracy come by today. He actually came by yesterday and talked to us, came back today and brought Channel 2 News with him.
Okay. I missed him yesterday, but I was there for a brief time while he was there today.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's good that we've got him involved. They have formed a committee. They're talking next week, he told us, with the governor, sitting down with the heads of departments, and they're going to look at the way to fix this. So that's a good thing. Okay. We've got him in there and showing up.
The fact that he showed up, is great, and appreciate him, getting it out there as far as representing us like he's supposed to. I just wish he would push it a little bit harder and a little bit faster.
That's what I.
It sounds like politics talk to me. Is like, we're going to get together next week and do this.
Well, I told him. I told Senator Tracy. I said, you need to get up there and rattle some cages. Get on up there and do it.
Yeah.
We'll see what he does.
Well, I mean, for God's sake, California has beat us to the punch. That's just embarrassing as hell.
You think they'd be dead last, and they're right up there before us. All right, I want to thank all the men and women that have already showed up these last 3 days. We're coming up on day 4. I want to thank them. I also want to thank my friend Jonathan Jensen. He helped get this thing rolling on Monday and Tuesday when I had some other things that I was taking care of. Brandon Kern was involved in this. I want to thank the Murfreesboro Police Department, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Department for being understanding with us and letting them. They told us that they believed in us and they wish they could stand there with us. We didn't have any problems with them. I'd like to thank. We had Starbucks, we had Panera Bread, we had Witt's Barbecue, we had Nobody's Grill, we've had Taco Bell, Domino's.
Chick-fil-A,
Donut Country, and all the men and women in the Murfreesboro area. And we actually had some actually drove from Gallatin and Springfield come down and bring the cases of water, the ice, the coolers, the Gatorades, everything. And my phone has been getting blowed up with people. What do you need? What can I bring you?
Well, again, we want to encourage them to bring it because we're going to, in turn, take that to somebody who can benefit from it, like the Salvation Army, our veterans in need, local veterans in need, and then our, the recruiters that are there as well.
Yes, we want to thank them. Such as today when Witt's Barbecue came, they brought enough food, and we went and got the recruiters, and they came out and got them something to eat. Yes, we want your donations. We're going to give these to the Salvation Army. We're going to take them to the vets that could use these things. We're doing something good, and it's paying off for other people as well, and they're getting these things, and it helps them.
Yeah, it's just like you said. It started off as one mission, and that mission has actually branching out to benefit multiple individuals and organizations that are in need. So that's wonderful. That's great how our community comes together and we multitask, I guess.
We multitask.
We multi-benefit people. I don't know how to say that. What's the word for that?
I don't know. And it goes to show you that the men and women say, you know what, I'm going to give up my day. I'm going to come out there and hang out with you guys. And we're going to do
a big thanks to the volunteers that come out.
Yeah.
I mean, without them, we're not able to make this statement. We're not able to make this stand without the men and women.
Here's the thing. It's been hot. We got rained on something terrible yesterday. We got rained on today. We had to hold the canopies down. We all pitched in and made things work. Everybody cleaned up our area. And you know what we never heard? We don't hear none of these volunteers complaining, oh, I'm too hot. Oh, I'm sweating something terribly. Oh, I'm getting wet.
Or it's raining too hard. I know yesterday it came down a torrential downpour, and I was in it too. Everybody was standing out there, and nobody complained a bit about it.
Nobody complained because you know what? We're not there for us. We're there for the military. And they sacrifice, we can sacrifice.
Defending those that defend us. Tim, thank you so much. looking forward to standing side by side with you for however long it takes, brother.
And I tell you what, we stay here. We're doing what the government won't do, and we got to stay there until they decide to do the right thing and take care of it.
There you go.
All
Tim
right.
Guy, ladies and gentlemen, go to the Operation Warrior Guard on Facebook, or you can find Tim Guy. And obviously you can go to Talking Lead's Facebook page. I'm doing updates there fairly regular, trying to do day-by-day updates. If you're in another state, just I'm sure if you go by the local recruiting offices, you'll find a crowd there. And if there's not one, then go ahead and start it yourselves.
Make your own. Just get it going.
Just do it.
That's it.
All right, back to the show.
So that was Tim Guy. You guys can go check him out at guypersonaldefense.com.
I don't know. Yeah, I came out at the beginning of...
Say again?
Oh, sorry. I was actually just saying I was glad it came out at the beginning of the show.
You faded out.
I was going to pick the jackwagons of the week.
Okay, all right. Well, that's a good segue. So why don't we just go ahead and we'll talk about Zeke's Father's Day present a little bit later, and we'll talk about the jackwagon now. So Arlie Ermy, introduce us to the jackwagon train, buddy.
Hoorah, Semper Fi, do or die, hold 'em high at 8th and I. It is time for the Talking Lead Jackwagon of the Week, so brace yourself, baby.
All right, Rob, who's your jackwagon? Okay.
Good one. All right.
That's a great jackwagon.
That was the best one ever, I think.
Actually, that's the one I was going to pick also, but you beat me to the punch. Ted Gummit. Zeke, did you have a jackwagon?
I did not.
You have a jackwagon? I've got a jackwagon.
My jackwagon is that annoying guy at the end of the Hickok videos now. He's, oh my God, somebody needs to shut him up. He just talks the same thing every freaking video.
So it's you doing the commercial?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've got.
What was funny? I was all excited when I did it, and then the first time it aired, and then the second time I was like, "That's pretty neat," and then the third time I was like, "Oh my God, that's annoying."
I'll have to watch it. I've not seen it yet.
I'm back.
There he is.
Now he's back. All right, so Rob, you were going to tell us about your jackwagon. Who are you throwing on the jackwagon train?
Well, I get it. Like I said, I think, I'm glad that you and obviously Tim and you guys are thinking this through down there in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, but there are a whole bunch of people who haven't thought this through and showed up and probably didn't portray gun owners in the Second Amendment. And
Zeke, quit popping your gun. I said, quit popping your gun. Sorry, Rob. Go ahead.
He hung up.
Shit. Oh. Hey, he texted me. Let's see.
I'm here.
Are you back? He's gone, then he's back. He's gone, then he's back.
I'm back.
Okay. So you were saying, go ahead and pick up where you left off. I'm an editing genius.
So I was going to say, honestly, and I'm glad we talked about it. I'm glad you talked to Tim and had that interview done because, you guys obviously are thinking this through really well down in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, but there are a whole bunch of people who aren't and who I don't think portrayed, even responsible personal armed defense properly, let alone the Second Amendment community and those of us who are pro-firearms, responsible firearms owners in their best intended efforts to provide support for the military guys at the recruiting centers in various strip malls around the country. The guys that are doing that without thinking it through and the guys that are actually causing more problems than good, those are my jackwagons this week.
There you go. That's a good jackwagon. Zeke, do you have a jackwagon?
I'd like to second that because I like the concept and the idea, and it sounds like what y'all are doing in Murfreesboro is the right route. And there's been a bunch of people that have been doing it the right way, but I've seen a couple of news clippings where the guys are walking around with their ARs, and guess where their finger is? Right on the trigger.
Yeah.
And they're, like you said, they don't know what they're doing. I think their heart may be in the right place. They didn't think it out. They're not handling it properly. They're saying the wrong things in front of media and putting us in a bad light. But hopefully that's the smallest percentage of the people that are doing it.
And I think that's what it is. And, of course, the media is going to pick up only on those people. They're gonna make them kind of our poster boys, which they don't represent the majority of the people out there. I think some of those guys went out and just bought their ARs to go out and stand in front of, because I saw several pictures where they didn't even have sights on the ARs.
Oh, it's like The Walking Dead.
Yeah, they didn't have front or rear sights on some of them. It was quite comical.
Wow.
But I've got a jack wagon, and it's tied in with this also, and it's the governor of Tennessee, Bill Haslam, is making the jack wagon train for his indecisiveness to get on board with 7 other states that have made the decision to let their National Guards be armed while on active duty. They're full-time guys. So I commend those 7 states, which they are at this point in time of the show.
I'm here. I have a question about that, because my impression, and again, I've been kind of out and driving across the Northwest, but I was under the impression that they authorized the generals, the leadership of the National Guards, to arm as appropriate, quote unquote. I am not under the impression that all of a sudden there are a bunch of armed National Guardsmen walking around in 7 states, but I may be wrong. Do you guys know different?
I haven't heard anything about it.
Yeah, it started off with Arkansas, Asa Hutchinson, which he ordered.
But are they actually armed, or are they just allowed under certain circumstances? Maybe they will be, maybe they won't be, and it's just a political, get on TV and make it look like you're doing something.
It says that they are to be armed while they are on duty. So I don't know if there's any parameters beyond that, but that's just what's been stated so far. Now, Bill Haslam has, within the past 8 hours, announced an expedited handgun permit process for military members, which I don't know what that does to help them, because it's still a gun-free zone and they're not allowed to carry. So when they're on duty at their offices, so I don't know what good that's supposed to do in this situation. But it's good that he's giving them some preferential treatment on that.
Well, but now, I don't think these knee-jerk reactions of let's go run out and buy an AR and stand in the strip mall, I don't think the knee-jerk reaction of let's give everybody who wants a gun because they were in the military 30 years ago and they qualified on a rifle, maybe, and they served for 4 years, let's empower them to go out and think they're ready to go stand guard in the parking lot. I think, it all comes back to constitutional carry. If we stop pretending that these permits and the low level of training that normally comes along with them actually mean you're ready to quote-unquote clear your house and you're ready to stand guard duty in the public space and you're ready to use any gun that falls into your lap, I think we'd be better off. Constitutional carry, if you can legally own a gun, you can legally carry it for the purposes of defense, but guess what? You have a responsibility to go get trained. And if you don't, the gun community is going to correct you.
Exactly. And that's a good point that you make. And we stress that on this show time and time again, is just because you got the permit doesn't qualify you to use that firearm.
Train.
Train with professionals. Watching YouTube videos doesn't count. You actually need to schedule a session with a company like ICE Training, with Guy Personal Defense. I mean, there's hundreds of qualified experts across the nation that can teach you proper gun handling, use, defense, so on. It just depends on how far you want to take it. But at the very least, you need to take one of those professional courses.
Agreed.
And it's not a budget thing either. I think that's really important to understand, is that there are local trainers involved in this industry out there who are doing classes at very reasonable prices. If you're looking at a class where somebody's charging $200, $250, $300 a day, you should be able to vet them and know what you're paying for. But if it's a local guy and he's charging $50 a day, $100 a day for that intro to defensive shooting class, everybody that can afford a gun should be able to afford that kind of training.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a weekend of drinking beer. So, I mean, somebody can
cider.
Or cider. You still on the cider kick?
Exactly.
It's only been like 5 years, but yes, I'm still on the cider fad.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought Zeke said the cider.
No, it's him, but I'm still on it too, but because I have to.
What do you have to?
The gluten thing.
Oh, that's right. You're allergic to gluten, right?
Yep.
I gotcha. Well, that's why they make it. So.
I had a gluten-free beer.
I think Rob's saying I had a gluten-free beer, but it came out as I had gluten-free beer.
He found a gluten-free beer? What gluten-free beer did you find, Rob? Rob?
Well, I was in Oregon called
It's called what?
You can't edit this out. This is radio gold.
Is doing a gluten-free beer. So if you really want the beer,
wait, rewind and tell us who it is. Now you're coming
Who is
in.
it? Now it's just a tease. Who is it?
All we heard was Oregon.
I think Zeke's got it out. Yeah. Oh, Oregon.
I heard Zeke's gut is nappy.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun doing it this way.
Now you're clear.
Yeah.
Of course,
All right, go.
They do make a gluten-free beer or various gluten-free beer options. I had one last week in Oregon, so you might want, if you really want the beer, Zeke, go for that.
Yes, I will go find some. I bet I got to get a whole paycheck to get it too.
Omission was the name of the one that I had that was actually
Omission.
That's fitting because we couldn't hear everything you said.
Shocking. I think this doing it while driving down the interstate in the middle of nowhere is a good idea.
I like it.
Yeah.
What else am I going to do? There's not even any scenery out here.
It's called reality, man. This is reality. This is reality. To hell with all those TV shows.
Yeah, I'm not like you city folk that always have good internet connections.
Interwebs. So, Rob, you were talking about the Shooting Industry Masters that's coming. You're sponsoring that. Tell us a little bit about what that is.
Yeah, I've been involved for a few years. IC Training Company and Personal Defense Network, and I have a team there. We have a bunch of Personal Defense Network contributors will be there representing. I'm just really going to show up and say hi. I've got a lot of great friends. There's a bunch of great companies that are involved. Of course, FMG Publications puts it on every year, and it's a fun event. It's one of the most casual industry events that really does have a good representation of industry leadership and people that are innovative and good companies that are obviously, they're companies that are successful because otherwise they wouldn't be there sponsoring the event. The event's for a great cause, the First Shots Program Foundation, and there's always an auction, also a live auction to support USA Shooting. Last year I got I think I bought a rifle, a Black Rain Ordnance rifle with a suppressor to support USA Shooting. It's a fun event.
Yeah, that's a good cause, the First Shot.
And what's it called again, and when is it?
It's the Shooting Industry Masters. It's in Columbus, Kansas, at the Claythorne Lodge, and it is benefiting the NSSF First Shot. That would be the youth shooting. They promote youth shooting. Is he texting me? We'll pull the damn car over for a minute when you get a signal. you got get there-itis. So when he gets back and finishes that up
Saturday.
You gotta figure out a way to leave that in.
Nowhere in Kansas, apparently. I'm just gonna follow.
It's like somebody paused him for 20 seconds.
I'm going to call it Random Thoughts with Rob Pincus.
Saturday, middle of nowhere.
Omission. First Shot. Zeke's gut.
Oh my god.
Let me text him. We can't hear you.
You know one of the coolest things about this? The hidden iron sights in the rail. Rail?
Oh, it's got rear sights built in?
They're built in, they're hidden in the rail. I didn't even know it.
You think,
Yeah.
what rear sights am I going to put on this?
I went to put my EOTech on it, and then I was like, well, I don't have any sights, so I went to put it on, and I was like, what is that? And I started playing with it, and it popped up. I was like, oh!
You're like, Shazam! There he is. Can you hear us now? We can't hear you.
What? Sure you can.
Now
There it is.
There you are. All right, so you were talking about the being asked when it was.
So it's this weekend, the Friday and Saturday, last weekend in July, and it's kind of in the middle of nowhere in Kansas somewhere. I'm just going to follow the blue line.
Columbus, Kansas, I do believe, at the Claythorne Lodge.
Which I'm sure is really nice. I've been to some great places in Kansas that were in the middle of nowhere, so I'm sure it's really nice.
I bet it is, yeah. And again, this is benefiting the NSSF First Shot, which that is promoting youth shooting, correct?
It's youth shooting. It's any kind of new shooters. They do corporate events. They do kids. They encourage people to, get out there and invite people who don't shoot out to the range with them.
Oh, cool. So it's not just kids, just anybody who hasn't really shot before. That's awesome. Good deal. And then you've got another something coming up, the EOD Warrior Foundation. You got a benefit for them coming up?
Well, no, actually, I jumped in. Chief Bronson and the guys that he showed me this great rifle that the guys at Stumpy's Custom Guns put together called the Dude. It's an amazing rifle.
I love
it. Just great trigger, beautiful, just chassis, just an amazing piece of work that I have not gotten a chance to shoot it yet, but I'm very anxious to do that. So I've bought my raffle ticket, and we're going to be announcing soon how everybody can get in on that. And actually, but they're going to be selling challenge coins to benefit the EOD Warrior Foundation, and somebody's going to win this amazing rifle. And it comes with like every trick thing you could possibly want. Bipod case, a soft case. It's got a great Leupold scope on it. It's going to have some night vision on it. It's an amazing package, and that's something that those guys.
Damn, he was doing good too.
Guys, check them out on Facebook or the internet.
Cool.
So you're the guys. You can go to Rob's Facebook page. He's got a post there, and then as more information comes up, he'll be posting it, and then we'll be posting it on our Facebook site as well. So that's going to bring us to another new big announcement that we've got. And Zeke, you want to make that announcement?
Yeah. So it's a new / old / renewing of a new announcement. So SDI was an official sponsor of Talking Lead for about 6 months, back in October through whenever 6 months is after that. And then we kind of unofficially did it for a while, but now we're coming back on as an official sponsor again. But we are going to fittingly sponsor the Facts to Fight the Myths segment because, of course, SDI, we're all about education. If you give a fact to fight a myth that's out there, that's educating people out there in the world. So that's
good
kind
logic.
Of
I like the way you analyzed that and brought it to
exactly
with one another. Yeah.
Perfect. So you want me to do like a little intro?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
You got to use that as part of the intro too. So SDI is proud to present the Talking Lead Facts to Fight the Myths.
And to inaugurate it, we're going to let you do the first one, Zeke.
Yeah. So my fact to fight the myth is there is a myth out there, and I kind of alluded to it earlier, that if you are a distance learning education program, you are some kind of diploma mill, or you are a shyster swindler type company. You can learn a lot from home, and you can learn a lot online in distance learning programs. I do agree that with gunsmithing, there does need to be a hands-on element. We do that through builds that you'll build through our courses. We also have launched several new field study programs. One of them being with our friends down in Louisiana, Atlas Defense. So
Jomo.
Our first student actually just got brought on for their field study next week. They got an interview this week. They're going to be going next week. So we're really excited about that. And we've got 6 others, I believe, with more coming every week. Eventually, we'd like to have a field study in every state, some of the big manufacturers and everything. So the myth being that distance education, you can't learn anything. It's not true. We're recognized by the Department of Education. We're accredited by the DEAC.
They get that bum rap of people who get their priest license online.
Yeah.
They're to be able to marry people.
In some of the people's defense, there are some online colleges out there that are the quote-unquote diploma mills. I can go get a doctorate degree right now in psychology from some of these places. As long as I pay them a few $1,000s, I'll get the little thing to hang on my wall. I didn't learn jack. And a lot of them will do it with life experience courses. Well,
right.
Yeah, they just take your money and give you a diploma. Yeah. We're not like that. And I know, Rob, you got, through Combat Focused Shooting, y'all have a home study program with it too, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, just like Rob said.
Yep. Sounds fantastic. Oh, really?
You don't say.
We're not hearing a thing. Hey, Rob, if you're talking, we don't hear you. And he's gone.
He's like those motherfuckers.
He's probably talking, thinking that we're hearing him, and thinking we're being assholes to him, not talking to him.
And he's back.
Are you there?
Turn your microphone on.
I'm here.
Well, and also Rob's got a study from home program, the Counter Ambush Home Study Program, right?
Yeah, we started this in 2012, and I agree fully with what you're saying. We started an idea of educating people in the concepts that underlie a lot of the physical and the tactics selection, and then helping them to plan their training program and their defensive training in general by giving out a lot of the concept information through books, through video lecture. We send out a workbook. They have to take an online test, so there's some credibility to them earning the certificate. We talked about this earlier. The guys standing in the strip malls, they can't learn what they need to learn by watching a YouTube video. They can't learn physical shooting skills and defensive security perimeter tactics fully just by reading a book. But you can certainly gain a lot through distance education. And I think the way SDI is approaching it, mixing the hands-on with all the work that can be done so much more efficiently and so much cheaper through distance education is brilliant.
Well said. And I can attest to SDI's courses and what they provide and the hands-on that they provide, the access that they provide to the students. And it's just like you're, at a college, because you can, if you got a problem, they've got instructors that you can contact via email. You can call them, however you need to get in touch with them, and they're there to help you with anything that you need. They're also there to help, I guess, push you along if they see that you're falling behind. So they help keep you on track as well. I know that I was falling behind there for a while, and I got a couple of messages, find out what was going on. I've had to put it on hiatus because of my schedule, because Zeke left me, and I got to do all this all on my own now. Dadgummit. So, but it's great because they let me suspend it. Is he still talking?
I thought he was.
I'm still here. I was just saying that, some of the best things are, do you have state schools and colleges all around the world doing distance education? This is the wave of the future. The tech educate without people having to travel to a classroom just to be in the room that we're lecturing in. We're there, and we need to be taking advantage of it as a community.
Yeah, absolutely. And just like we're all three in different locations in the United States right now, we're still able to visually see each other and communicate. I mean, just like if we were having a class, like you said, Rob, this is the wave of the future. Technology is headed this direction with education, and the way I see it, SDI is just on the forefront of that. They're leading the way. So that was our first Fact to Fight the Myth under our new sponsor, the Sonoran Desert Institute. And Zeke, I really appreciate you doing that, and we're looking forward to many more of those to come.
Yep.
And just to let our listeners know, we're going to have another special little introduction before each of those coming soon. We'll just put it that way. Let's announce who our trivia winner was last week. We had Casey Griggs, a 3-gunner, on. another guy who SDI, Talking Lead, and now we made the announcement last week that Troy Industries is going to be sponsoring. Casey Griggs had a video called the Wicked Stage video, and he was doing a 3-gun competition. And at the end of that competition, he was shooting his shotgun. And the question was, how many shots did he fire? And the answer to that was 14. And as always, we had several people that had the right answer, and we had 2 that were just neck and neck. And the winner is going to be Chuck Sanford. Zeke, you remember Chuck?
Chuck wins everything.
Well, he won the big prize.
Do you remember the movie Real Genius with Val Kilmer?
Yeah.
You remember the guy that was in the basement of the dorm, like entering every contest?
Does he win in like contests on everybody else's shows too?
I think he won one on We Like Shooting. I don't know. I see him everywhere now, though. It's like he started holding pictures of us as babies, and then like I see him everywhere.
Well, it's not any better because the runner-up was Jerry Black. He wins quite a bit too. But I mean, rules being fair, Chuck was the first one in out of everybody. He wins the Talking Lead swag bag grab is what I call it. So, Chuck, I will be in touch with you to get you your prize. All right, so congratulations to Chuck. And no, it's not rigged, guys. You just got to be quicker on the draw and getting your answers in. So, this week's trivia question is going to come from our special guest, our superstar special guest, Rob Ace.
Hey, how you guys doing? Glad to be here.
Put down that cider and talk to us.
I'm driving. I can't drink cider while I'm driving.
So, did you think of what you want to do with the trivia question?
Yeah, I'll do. I've got a trivia question. So, I like that the way that was tied into the YouTube channel. So, on my YouTube channel, within the last week, I posted an update from the Personal Defense Network training tour, and I was in Oregon, and I was at the JROC Training Center and talked with Robert Baines. And at the very end of the video, I announced that one of our sponsors donated a couple of specific prizes for a law enforcement class we ran in Oregon last week. So the name of that sponsor identified at the end of the tour update from earlier in the week. That's the answer to this week's trivia question. Okay,
so you guys have to answer that. And you also have to go, if you haven't done it yet, you have to go to Rob's Facebook page and like his Facebook page.
His Facebook page?
His face, did I break it? His Facebook page.
Sounded like you said Facebook page.
So it's the YouTube channel is /Rob Pincus, and the /Rob Pincus Pro is the Facebook page, for those of you who aren't good at like search engines.
And I did a post on our Facebook page. I shared your J-Rock post. And I had the caption J-Rock out with your Glock out, so they'll be familiar from that as well. So there you go. There's the trivia question, and the winner is going to get something special from Rob from either PDN or ICE training, or wherever he decides he wants to give you.
Both. It's going to be both. We're going both.
Okay.
Yep. Doubling up. Big prize this weekend.
Doubling up there, and then I think also SDI is going to throw something in for our runner-up.
We will throw in an SDI T-shirt.
There you go. It's a threesome.
And we got a second from, which dog was that barking?
That was Mosen.
Mosen?
Yeah.
He's a good boy. How's Mosen doing?
He's getting big, but he's still hyper like a puppy.
Well, he still is a puppy.
He's calmed down.
All right, so thank you guys for putting that up on the trivia, and that's bring us to the end of another show. So, guys, Rob, tell us what you've got coming up after this whirlwind tour that you got. I mean, gosh, surely you're going to have some downtime.
Yeah, I am. I'm taking, actually, it's going to be the longest non-business trip. Did you hang up on me again?
No, never.
No, we're here.
Yeah, so this is actually going to be the longest kind of no business travel break I've had probably since about 2007, back in the Valhalla days. So I'll be in Denver area at the Western HQ. I'm running an instructor development course in Denver in August. We're doing a whole bunch of videotaping for Personal Defense Network. So I'm not taking a month and a half off, but I am going to not be traveling for classes again until September. And we've got a lot of really great classes coming up down at the Eastern HQ in Florida. October, November, and December, we have courses on the schedule at Ancient City Shooting in St. Augustine, my home range, including some new specialty courses, some team stuff for people that hang out a lot together, work together, obviously husband-wife type couples that are both armed. And we're also going to be bringing our vehicle defense specific class back as well this fall.
Oh, that's what I wanted to talk to you about is, all right, so you got a new vehicle for this tour. How's this compare to last year's vehicle?
Well, I'm in a 4Runner now, and I got to say, I love the FJs. I still have the old FJ. I retired it. I bought a new 4Runner this year for the tour. The 4Runner is so much better on the highway than the FJ was. Now, granted, this is a 2015, brand new. The other one was a 2008, and I wore it out, 200,000+ miles, and I wasn't, gentle on it. But just being in this tour, it handles better on the road. It's a for those of you familiar with the 4Runner, it's the trail package with the KDSS suspension set up with the sway bars. Then Old Man Emu, my ARB guys, Old Man Emu gave me a heavy duty lift kit on it, and it just handles all the gear and all the weight so much better than the FJ did. And it's still pretty nimble off-road too, so people can see the pictures on my social media when I get to take it up on the rocks and through the mud and everything else every once in a while. And it's been great. So look forward to a few good years out of this one.
Cool. So thumbs up to the 4Runner.
Absolutely.
Zeke, are you still running the FJ?
I am still running the FJ. Barely. It's screaming at me every time I just go longer than 5 miles, but it's still running, man. It's smooth. I like it.
Good deal.
You got to hang on to it, Rob, though, because they discontinued them. That might be worth something one day.
I'm gonna keep it for a while. It's gonna be the Eastern headquarters down in Florida, and it's gonna hang out down there.
There you go.
Oh, guys, you know what you ought to do? When you get ready to get rid of them, you put them together and do like an auction, a charity auction with them.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like a demolition derby between the FJs.
You could do that too.
You would get them together and just...
Yeah, just... Well, that could raise money too,
Get a lot of views on YouTube.
That would be pretty awesome. I know Rob's down with it.
Front and rear.
I heard Snot Reaper.
There'd be a lot of snot slinging. He's tapping the phone.
Hey guys, you hang up with me?
Yes, we got you now.
Yeah, you're there.
I'm in. If I knew we were doing a demolition derby, I wouldn't have sold my Excursion. But that FJ, those ARB bumpers are solid. I'll take it into the demolition derby.
No, what would be cool is because you got yours wrapped with your stuff, and then Zeke's got the Talking Lead. It'd be like head to head, boom, Talking Lead against the PDN.
Oh no, I took the wrap off. That thing, it's got no doors now. It's got 2 doors. It's summer mode. It looks like it's like Mad
Max
maxed out. I like the mess. Yeah.
Nice.
Don't get any ideas, Zeke. Well, cool. Zeke, tell us what you've got coming up.
Immediately, let's see. And this weekend we've got the K9 show, which you might be into. It's going on at Burlington Hotel. We're going to be there with all the K9 police and military units.
Where's it at?
Opryland Hotel.
This weekend?
Yep. Jason's coming in with Arcos, and then the following week here, and then the week after that I'm going to Seattle, Washington to Aero Precision up there, and then to Phoenix for 2 days, and then back home. Really, I'm really diving into archery right now too. That was one thing I was going to mention about what I did this week. I got my bow tuned up and really got it fit to me now.
Did anybody ever send you a bigger bow?
Found out that I didn't need a 34-inch draw link. I was talking to Plinkster, and he told me, he goes, dude, we've got the same length arms. I got a 32-inch. So I actually went to a custom shop, not just Bass Pro. And they were like, yeah, absolutely. You don't have 32-inch draw link. So I went to Bass Pro, got the stuff I needed to make mine work, and I'm hooked. And the thing that I love about it is I can shoot in my backyard. The neighbors don't care. And I can shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot, and I'm not paying a dime for each shot. It's so cool.
Unless you lose your arrow.
That's true. But
Well, unless you get really good. If you get really good, you'll start Robin Hooding those things, and then that gets expensive.
I had one little group of 4 that were right on top of each other. I got pretty stoked about that. I hadn't done it again, but...
If you can do that, it's worth the money.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A great time with Rob and Zeke. Appreciate you guys taking the time to hang out and be on the show.
Not a problem. Thanks
It
for
was
having
like
me.
the old days. It was like the old days all over again.
It was.
I know it, man. This has been fun. I enjoyed this.
You probably had a lot of fun when I was cutting in and out.
Oh, we had a blast. You didn't get to hear most of it, but we had a blast.
We carried the show on without you, but that.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So, and I want to thank you guys personally for the sponsorship and the support that you give the show. I couldn't do it without you. I mean, seriously, it's been an overwhelming doing this by myself, but it's coming along. I'm getting the hang of it, and it's getting easier every week.
No, I've been listening. It's been good.
Except for last week's audio. The content was great, but the audio sucked.
You should have the guests do it from a car next time. I think that'll help.
Yeah,
I think that would definitely add a whole new quality to the show. So I want to give a shout out to ICE Training, ICTraining.us, SDI, SDI.edu, the Sheepdog Impact Assistance. They are at Sheepdog IA, Guy Personal Defense, Tim Guy. Go to guypersonaldefense.com. I'm getting some bad feedback from one of you. I'd like to thank Chris at Tactical Walls, Spectre at the VSO Gun Channel, Dave Moore, Dave Moore, Casey Griggs, 3-Gunner, check him out, and Troy Defense, Jules, I love you. Look forward to doing more with her in the future. Guys, as always, keep your loved ones close.
And your firearms closer. I never got to say that.
And you got to say it in echo now. Oh my gosh. Who is doing the echo?
I didn't change anything, but I am now 10 miles from where I was.
And now you're crystal clear.
Oh my God, you're crystal. Damn it.
I just hit Denver traffic.
Anything else we need to talk about? I'm going to wrap up the show, and then we'll hang on after and say I love yous. Or not.
I love you.
Okay.
Yeah.